Think ancient Greece and Rome had fair elections? Think again. Welcome back to History Re-Examined. Today we are going to discuss a popular topic, elections, and discover election practices in ancient Greece and Rome and how it is connected with election practices in modern times. While we often idolize these ancient civilizations as the birthplaces of democracy, the reality was far more complex and far less inclusive than we might imagine. In Athens, the so-called cradle of democracy, the right to vote was reserved for a select group of free male citizens. This elite group represented only about 10 to 20% of the population, meaning most were excluded from the political process. The famous Athenian assembly, where citizens gathered to vote, was a space of privilege rather than a true democratic forum. This exclusion of large segments of the population raises significant questions about the fairness of what we call ancient democracy. Moreover, the Athenian system was not immune to corruption and manipulation. Wealthy citizens often used their resources to sway votes and influence decisions. They provided loans, threw lavish parties, and offered bribes to secure the support of poorer citizens. This practice was so common that it had a specific term, psiphismata, which referred to the decrees that were often influenced by such corrupt means. Thus, even within the limited scope of those who could vote, fairness was far from guaranteed. Moving to Rome, the situation doesn't improve. The Roman Republic had a more complex electoral system with different assemblies for different purposes. However, the power dynamics were heavily skewed in favor of the wealthy patrician class. The Centuriate Assembly, one of the key electoral bodies, was organized in a way that gave disproportionate power to the wealthy. The votes of the richer classes were worth more than those of the poorer classes, ensuring that the elite had the final say in most matters. Additionally, Roman elections were rife with corruption and violence. Candidates for political office spent vast sums of money on public games, feasts, and direct bribes to win favor with voters. This practice, known as ambitus, was technically illegal, but enforcement was lax, and the penalties were often not severe enough to deter such behavior. The historian Sallust famously remarked on the pervasive corruption, noting that in the late Republic, everything at Rome was for sale. The manipulation didn't stop there. Powerful families formed alliances and used their influence to control election outcomes. For example, the famous orator Cicero wrote extensively about the lengths to which he went to secure his election as consul, including making deals with other powerful figures and leveraging his social connections. These historical realities challenge our perception of ancient democracies. While Athens and Rome laid the groundwork for many democratic principles we value today, their electoral systems were deeply flawed and far from fair by modern standards. They remind us that the evolution of democratic governance has been a long and imperfect journey, one that continues to this day. Fast forward to modern times, and we still grapple with issues of fairness and integrity in elections. Although we've made significant strides in ensuring broader participation and reducing corruption, challenges remain. In many countries, voter suppression tactics, gerrymandering, and the influence of money in politics continue to undermine the democratic process. The influence of money in politics remains a significant issue. Campaign finance laws vary widely, but in many places, wealthy individuals and special interest groups can pour vast sums into elections, shaping outcomes in ways that benefit them. This practice, reminiscent of Rome's ambitus, highlights the ongoing struggle to create a level playing field in democratic elections. Despite these challenges, modern democracies also offer tools and mechanisms to combat corruption and promote fairness. Transparency initiatives, independent electoral commissions, and legal frameworks designed to protect voter rights are steps in the right direction. However, the persistence of these issues reminds us that the fight for fair elections is ongoing and requires constant vigilance and improvement. As we've seen, both ancient and modern elections have struggled with issues of fairness and integrity. The journey to truly fair elections is ongoing, requiring constant vigilance and improvement. If you found these insights surprising, share this video with a friend. Leave a comment with your thoughts on ancient election practices, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to History Re-Examined for more thought-provoking content on history's hidden truths.